clouds outside though. And I was like, whatever, man, chill. Oh, but my Uber, I thought this Uber on the way here, you guys, I thought this was going to be it. I thought he was the one. But I'm tired of offering my Instagram. It just makes me feel good. I don't know. Even after like a show, like even when I'm networking and I give someone an Instagram, I'm like, I feel disgusting. I can't explain it. What's your Instagram? Because one time I was like, follow? Like I said that to somebody, I was like, follow? And he's like, did you say that? Yeah. And I was like, no. This sassy mama? I don't follow anybody, no. But so at one point, so I had like whenever I order Uber here, it says LA School of Comedy. We talk about comedy, whatever. He skateboards. I'm like, I'm in love, whatever. He drives. He's driving. And at one point, like we had just seen a lot of like cops driving, whatever. He was like, okay, so I see like this cop's like been following us like a couple cars back. Like I'm not really supposed to be driving. Is it like, do you have to? He was like, do you have to get somewhere on time right now? And I was like, no, it's okay. Why did I say? I was like, no, it's fine. Oh my God, me? No. I was like, I need to get there like 6:15, 6:30, whatever you want to do. Are you okay? It's so hot in the car. I didn't tell him to open. I'm sweating, whatever. And then he's like, yeah, like we might have to switch. And I was like, what do you mean? I thought he meant like I get out and I order another Uber, but he was like, I might have to drive the car, right? And I was like, oh, I don't think you want that. And I'm like, he was like, I'm kidding. And I didn't know it was a joke. And I would have let him do it. Like, that's the craziest thing. Like, that's sad, you know? Because I'm like, maybe I won't get murdered if I just play along. I don't know. You know, maybe I'm like, oh, no, this is normal. No, yeah. This is oh, you're making a laugh? No, yeah. This is fine. But I was like, that's funny. I really went along with it. Like, one time my older sister grabbed my butt in a bookstore, and I didn't know she was in the bookstore, and I just stood there like this. Like, I clenched, you know. It probably makes it worse. I kept it in there. And I got to work on my reaction timing. But, you know, I mean, we're comedians. We're always looking for a story, right? We're always looking for a story. I used to work at the mall, and I would take out the trash, and there would be a sign, and it would say, because it was like an alley, you know, and it was like, see something, say something. And I was like, that is not something you have to tell me. You know, like, I will think I saw something and say something to everybody except the person it would help to say the thing to. I'd be like, I saw that. It's like, no, you didn't. But, oh, I forgot would you throw me that notebook? Without the pen in it so I don't get hurt. That was like slapstick, right? Oh, this is something I thought of. Tums cap. You can hand that to me blindfolded. I feel like I go Tums cap. What is that about? That's some really good. I'm just saying branding, like to have like a bottle of Tums the cap. You can recognize that anywhere. I can't say that about any other gastro product. One time an Uber driver said he was going to take me to Benihana. And I've never been to Benihana. And he's like, I'm going to the army in 11 days. I'm like, call me a patriot. I'm going to let this guy take me to Benihana. I've never been. And then he messages me on Instagram. Oh, my God. And he was like, there's this place that's just like Benihana, but better. And I looked up, it was cheaper. And I was like, I can't do this. But tonight, I am so excited to bring up this first comedian. I feel like I've known her forever. Who's ready for the comedy of Sherry Bright, everybody? I'm sorry. Sherry Bright tonight.
Nice.
Oh, the mic? This one.
Oh, yeah, it's not high enough for me. Thank you.
Yeah,
no.
I think it's higher. Yeah. It's okay.
All right, comedy people. I grew up with an abusive dad, just keeping things light. Yeah. Usually only emotionally, but sometimes you get lucky. There is a small upside to growing up in constant fear of your father. I thought I had to do everything perfectly, you know, to avoid getting in trouble, and that has made me super successful at everything I've tried in life. Business, athletics, anal. The truth is, behind every person at the top of their field, there is a father who's really disappointed in them. I bet even Jeffrey Dahmer's dad is like, Jeff, you need more carbs in your diet. Mwah. My brother and sister and I could always tell when Dad was triggered. We'd be like, oh, watch out. He's flaring his nostrils. 20 seconds till Dad creates a traumatic core memory for everybody. My brother's younger, and when you have an abusive parent, you feel like you have to be protective. Sometimes it was hard because I also wanted to hit my brother. In my defense, he started it. He played this game where he'd pretend to punch you in the face and then be like, you flinch, that means I get to really punch you. I see some acknowledgement, fucker. Yeah. That's really messed up. It's like a doctor telling you, you have herpes. Just kidding, but since you believe me, now I get to really give it to you. It was scary watching my mom be mistreated by my dad, but when I grew up, I took her example and used it as a blueprint to find my own shitty husband. I am the poster child for accidentally marrying your dad. Here's how it happens. Tell me if I'm wrong. Your mind is like, ooh, this guy's just like Dad. But your subconscious is like, ooh, this guy's just like Dad. So if any of you didn't like how your father treated you, and someday your dad and your fiance get this bromance going, cancel the wedding. I cannot overstate this. But glad to report that unlike my parents, 20 years into my emotionally abusive marriage, I finally got out. Yeah. And by that I mean he left me. And then I took him back because I wanted to take back control and be the one to end it. Because fuck that guy, right? Yeah. And so I did, 11 years later. I was planning that breakup for 11 years because I'm an insecure perfectionist, and that's how we do things. But it was magnificent. I packed whatever would fit into my minivan and backed out the driveway. It took such a long time to leave because I live on a really busy street. I feel like I did try to save my marriage, and I feel like I deserve a t-shirt that says, I tried to save my marriage, and all I got was these kids, these 4 kids. But the cool thing about being a mom is that you can stand up for your kids in ways you couldn't stand up for yourself. Like my father raised his hand to my 7-year-old son during the Passover Seder meal for dropping a matzah, and I'm like, you will not hit him, and you will never call him Fat Sherry. And if he wants to lose his virginity to a Christian girl you didn't like, that's his business. Silence at the Seder. So my youngest just continues reading the 4 questions. He's like, why is this night different from all other nights? The answer is, Ki halayla imagid lazug. If you don't speak Hebrew, that means, because tonight mommy grew a pair. Yes. Passover reminds me of when I was 7 and my mom stood up for her kids. My father was spanking me with his belt for stealing a cookie from the pantry, and my mom's like, Bob, stop it. That's your good belt. Now that I am getting divorced, it's really hard not shit-talking their dad. So I wait for my kids to bring him up. My son will be like, oh, it's Dad's birthday tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, he also has a small dick. Gotta be strong. The thing about being in an abusive relationship is it does not start out that way. Wouldn't it be great if on the first date, everybody was super clear about who they were? And the guy would say, like, sorry, I just want you to know before we get hot and heavy that I'm an emotionally manipulative, narcissistic sociopath, and we should probably split this check. And I'd be like, oh, my dad is going to love you. Yeah. When you leave a shitty marriage, you have to try really hard not to be skeptical of all guys. My daughter will call and be like, Mom, I met this guy and he thinks I'm really great. And I'm like, red flag, he's putting you on a pedestal. And when he discovers you are mortal, he will crush your self-esteem and leave you high and dry. I'm so happy for you. It's weird when an abusive parent gets old and dependent on you. It's payback time. You got to be subtle. I bring my dad high cholesterol snacks, and I stop changing the battery in his life alert. Now that my parents have moved into assisted living, my dad's become this real drama queen. Like, he had this recent health emergency, and even though the paramedics are trying to rush him out through the lobby, he's like, "Wait, I must give my farewell speech, Frank. You have been a worthy opponent in bingo. Farewell, friends. I'll see you on the other side. Be strong." Later the same day, the ER sends him back home. How embarrassing. I mean, at that point, just kill yourself. And even worse, when he gets back, the front desk is like, "Oh, we heard your goodbye speech, so we've already given your bed away. Also, your wife has a new husband." Where was I? Yeah, he was a dick. I left him. Blah blah. Where am I? My evolution here. When your parents get even older and start losing it mentally, it can happen so quick, and you gotta be vigilant and like watch out for any signs of something that's out of character. He's nodding, yeah. So like my father says to me, "Sherry, I'm really proud of you." We went straight to the hospital. And the doctor's like, "Your father's mental brain fog is due to too much calcium." Calcium? If I'd known calcium would have killed him, I wouldn't have bothered buying all that fentanyl. Now I'm leaving calcium supplements out around my apartment because there's this mouse, and now it's really proud of me. It's just a slow burn there. It's scary to think that if you end up with dementia, you are only going to be repeating the things you probably said over and over and over again. So I'm thinking that when I'm 90 and someone comes to visit, I'll probably be like, "So lovely to see you. I do anal." "Who are you?" It feels really lame to be a grown-ass woman and still afraid of your frail elderly father, but being chased by a man in a wheelchair is terrifying, especially downhill. We were so afraid to stand up to my dad that it was hard to do it even when it meant saving that fucker's life. The paramedics are in his room. I normally don't say fucker. It just felt right. The paramedics are in his bed. Was that my light? Okay. The paramedics are in his bedroom. This is a true story. And they're like, "Well, we can't take him to the hospital unless we have someone's consent." And my father's like, "No." So everyone looks at me. I look at my mom, and she looks back at me. And that's when I knew. I mean, I knew what I had to do. I'm like, "Oops, gotta take this phone call." And my father had to be even weaker before my mom really could stand up to him. We were in his hospital room, because he did go, and he's wearing an oxygen mask, but he throws her out of his hospital room. He's like, and she's like, "Bob, I'll leave, but not that way, because that's a window with a 6-story drop." And I'm like, "Mom, high five. You set your first boundary with Dad in 60 years. Oh. And even though I clearly feel a lot of animosity towards my father, I do still love him. And you never know how you're going to actually react until you get that phone call. I was doing a comedy show, and my sister calls. She says, "Dad's been intubated and rushed to the ICU. Mom and I are heading right over." And I'm like, "Oh, I just finished my set, so I'll stay and support my friends." And then my mom, I get to the hospital, and it's 5 minutes after my father's died. She's sobbing. I'm holding her, and she's like, "I'm so sorry you had to drive all the way across town to get here." I'm like, "Mom, I also had to pay for parking." Thank you all. And I had all these comments to make about you, but I needed all 10 minutes.
Guys, give it up for Sherry Bright. You guys,
A rock concert today. That's it.
that was like,
I can't even do that.
that's hot. Give up for Sherry. And old men with anger and wheelchairs are so scary. You ever try to play Rummy Cube with my grandfather? With my Zadie? Your turn. I'm like, I didn't know you could hear. What are you talking about, my turn? Oh my God. He ran over my grandma's foot with the wheelchair.
Oh.
And it was like watching like the slowest like car crash. Because it was like, fuck! Joel! I wish they were in an assisted living. They need assistant. Right. We're going to get the chair for the stairs. I'm like, this isn't up. Like, this isn't that up kind of love. That all you need is a chair on the stair. But I need some Patty in the air. Give it up for the comedy Patty. It's trying to rhyme.
Sam! Give it up for Sam!
Hi, Sam!
Yes. I don't know if you guys are aware, but we have a sponsor tonight. Tonight's show is brought to you by Sassy Mama. Give it up for Sassy Mama! This is fantastic. I feel great. I feel very good to be here. It's funny. I Ubered here too. I have a car, but I had such a great parking space. You ever live in those neighborhoods where you're like, fuck, this is too good. I can't go anywhere. I said, my wife, fuck, I can see the car from the window. I'm calling a fucking Uber. Thank God. Give it up for Sherry. Was she wonderful? Was that magnificent? Yeah. Beautiful. It's beautiful to be here in front of all of you people. Because I was feeling great tonight. I said, I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive 32 minutes and pay $10 to be mildly ignored by my peers. I thought that's what I do, Sherry. But, I'm not going to do any stand-up comedy tonight. I would like to do a Gaelic interpretive native dance. And I hope you all will enjoy it. I'm not going to get started with any stand-up comedy. I'm just going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about my trials and tribulations. And I hope that you guys can maybe find some humor in it. I'm married, yes. So once again, I don't have to come here to be mildly fucking ignored. But if you are married or considering getting married or have perhaps been married, you may identify with what I'm about to speak about. You should get to know the person before you marry them. Okay, I've been married several times. I'm not going to get into it, okay? Talk about my first wife, but legally I have to refer to as plaintiff. It was not pretty. It was not a beautiful thing. It was like a 3.5-year hate fuck. Really, but I could not leave after that high point as God fucking intended all men to do. Could not leave. But here's why I say, because here's what happens. When you marry someone, you marry their whole family. And I don't care who you are, what pristine fucking background you come from. Your whole family ain't good. All of them ain't good. Okay, so I'm just going to explain. There's no stand-up comedy here tonight. I'm just going to explain to you my life. Damn it. My brother-in-law stole my identity.
Whoa.
Then borrowed my suit to go to court. Borrowed my suit. He's a fucking charming guy, too. You know what I mean? It's a charming guy, and he's trying to explain it away. He's very... Look, there's certain relatives that they come to like he comes to our family gatherings, usually because there's food. He never brings anything, but when he leaves, something goes fucking missing. Do you know what I mean? Something goes missing. I'm trying to tell you, he's a crackhead. But I'm looking at you guys, I'm thinking, yeah, you got some crackheads in your family. Sherry does. I'm saying, oh, Uncle Sherry, there's a crackhead back there. There's an uncle who gambles. There's a ne'er-do fucking well. Don't tell me it's not true. They might give your kid a gift, but they wind up fucking stealing it back. Because of the spread between the Philadelphia and the Boston fucking game. Yeah, it's gambling. It's gambling too. He's clever, the guy, though. He could do really anything. He actually cured like a 30-year crack addiction with meth. Meth is better. Lasts longer. You don't have to steal as fucking much. It's a very clever dope. And here's the thing that I don't like. I hear you go, hi, CC. Hi, baby. Come on in, man. Here's what I don't like. Give it up for Colin here. Give it up for him. I like Colin. Isn't he that beautiful? I wish I had his hair. I used to have his hair, by the way. It was 1978. I had that fucking hair. But what my point is, a lot of you people come in here, and you guys are dealing with some shit. Fentanyl. God damn it, that's scary. You got a drug that's fucking worse than fentanyl. It's the flesh-eating drug. It's so strong, they dose the fentanyl with it now. But fentanyl has made me very nostalgic for crack. You know, you guys talk about crack like it was such a bad thing. Crack, I'm telling you, first of all, Sherry, I know your secret too. There was some crack smoking back in the day, probably. It was the 80s. At first, it was very quiche. It was very put on your shiny pants and dance and, do a little cocaine, smoke a little crack, make a little love, get down tonight, baby. That was it, baby. We're talking. Look, I'm trying to tell you about a fantasy land that existed. It was called mid-coke pre-AIDS. Mid-coke pre-AIDS, you could do anything. And crack came around, and I'm going to tell you what the thing about crack did. It made everything available to everyone. It lowered the playing ground. Cocaine was kind of a big fucking, people had little Coke spoons and drove fancy cars and drank Evian water, and otherwise they were like super healthy, affluent people. Crack brought it down, baby. Crack brought the people together. I'm going to tell you, you remember, Sherry, you were there with a shiny ball on the thing, and we were spinning each other fucking around, and then bam, crack hit, and everybody's in an apartment looking out the window. What the fuck happened? I'll tell you what crack did. It brought the people together because there's a myth. White people fucking loved crack. They loved crack. But much like Church's chicken, it was not available in their neighborhood. They enjoyed it, and they wanted to get their crack, so they brought the races together. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, I've been to a crack house. I know it's hard to believe. Yes, I have been to a crack house, and there's always a couple white folks in there. They're always in there. With their mother's TV set or something. They're there. But when they're there, it's just everybody smoking crack. That's what it's about. And I will tell you the truth. Clap. First of all, would anybody here who's lost the ability to raise their hand? Okay, good. Okay, now I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. But what I'm saying is it was not fucking all bad. It was, there were some good times, crackety time, back in the crackety days, baby. Just because most people that smoke crack didn't wind up with their pants down around their ankles talking to themselves on the street corner. They wound up doing open mic nights on Monday night, got married and had 5 kids. Because I don't, like a lot, like I envy you. I don't know how women let this whole fucking app thing get started and all that because, before the internet, a woman was fucking mysterious. Was a mysterious thing. Like I never saw a naked woman, like fully naked, till I was about 16. It was just a picture of a woman. It was a picture of a woman. I couldn't imagine. Now, in 2011, we had more porn than time. That means there's so much porn, you could sit and watch porn for the rest of your life and never see the fucking same scene again. Is that good? I don't know, because I want to tell you something. I saw a picture of a vagina when I was, again, about 16, and I didn't know what I'd do once I got my hands on it. I knew I want one of those, You know what I mean? I want to get to know what. And now you guys, you watch the porn and you think, well, that's how women want to be made love to. No. I accidentally, something popped up on my screen the other day. I was completely by accident. And it was one of these, they call them a gang bang. God damn it, have you seen this? That does, no. But they were, what it was one gal and a bunch of chaps, and by golly, they were all this everything which way, and they're slapping her on the head and being mean to her, like, hey, you like that, get it up. I'm like, not one like, hey, great work ethic. Well done with the hand-eye coordination. No praise whatsoever. I think when we take our, we go, you guys okay over there? We're just checking on you. Just checking on you. Wait a second. So what I'm trying to say is, Sam and I are developing, it's a dating app for people with Down syndrome. We're dead. No, hold on. Sam, like me, says, hey, first of all, don't get the wrong idea, okay? If you date someone in a wheelchair, you're kind of a saint. You know, but it's not like this. This is the Bumble for people with Down syndrome. It's Bumble for people with. They make the first move. You don't. But oddly enough, when you look at who's registered, it's all big people. Freaky back big people. But no, what my point is that shouldn't they have a choice too? Like that. All right, I knew that would. That's why I did that one at the end, because I knew you fucking wouldn't be able to even look me in the eye. But that came out of a writer's room full of very twisted comedians. So I got a job writing for this show, you know, and it's good, you know, because they give you money, that part. But it's a talk show, and the host is like he's equal parts Ryan Seacrest and Mussolini. You know, like he's kind of an attractive Serper type dude who is a closet Nazi. You know, I said, well, he's like, what type of I got some sponsors. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking hardworking guy. And I said the sponsor, it's called Fuck Ton of Hummus. Brought to you by Fuck Ton of Hummus. Why? Because it's hummus. Why? It's the second most sexy condiment there is. Am I right? Am I right? Well, you know what the first sexy is? That depends on what you're into. Yeah, it could be cucumber sauce. Maybe not cucumber sauce. I don't want to make any judgments. Here. Listen, you guys have been mediocre, and I don't mean it as an audience. I mean as human beings. Thus far, I've been Paddy, PADDYFORCOMEDY, and give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are really good. I really enjoyed being here. And I want to say thank you. And I want you guys to get excited for the one and the only Sam Linderman. Give it up for Sam Linderman.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the writer's room for the app, but flattered to be thought of.
Yeah.
Dude. But they are getting kind of crazy with that because they have Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know how I feel about it. But then they made another one called Down for Love. This is true. For people down. And it's like, I totally get the importance of a name. But really, you're gonna really go there? You're gonna risk it. I'm saying you're gonna risk it for what? A pun? You know, I don't know. It's a bit much. But we're the next. We're gonna make it happen. We're the next generation of comedy. I am so excited to see the comedy of. I've never met her, but like, who's ready for Jen Tyler?
Brand new stuff.
Let's try it out.
Yeah. All right, how you guys doing? Let's give it up for PADDY. Lots of energy, bring it up and in the room. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of different stuff because you made me think about something.
I hope that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. I'm gonna tell you. I guess we'll find out. All right, so I am I'm a native of Los Angeles, born and raised here. Anybody else?
Yes.
Oh my God, a bunch of you. I'm actually a third generation Angelino, which makes me shallow. My grandfather came out here from Ohio in the 40s in the middle of winter, and once he saw what the weather was like out here, he decided he was never moving back, which was quite a shock to his wife and kids. But I grew up in a really nice neighborhood on the west side of town called Brentwood. Whoa. A lot of people think of O.J. Simpson when I first say Brentwood, but there's a lot of other douchebags there. But it's a very discreet neighborhood, so, you know, it's kind of hard to spot them. But the trick is to look for the neon-colored G-Wagons. All right. Wow. But Brentwood wasn't always as bougie as it is now. When I grew up, it wasn't. It was more like a quiet little town. We just had a local shopping center with one small Neiman Marcus. And, but you know, just because you grew up in Brentwood doesn't mean you're rich. You know, our house is just a regular old 6-bedroom ranch like everybody else's. And we didn't even have a tennis court. But when you grow up in LA, it's always such a scene, but when you don't know any different, you just think it's normal. Like, I thought everybody's morning started in hair and makeup. I remember my mom would be like, Jennifer, you're going to be late. You only have an hour to eat breakfast and get the Rachel haircut. But, she always took care of us, and she always wanted us to be street smart. And so she'd be like, Jennifer, you've got to be vigilant. You've always got to be ready, because you never know when someone's going to come up behind you and ask you who you're wearing. It's Valentino, by the way. LA does put so much value on appearance that it's kind of hard to go through your awkward years here, especially when your friends are pretty. A group of us were at the farmer's market, and this woman came up to my friend, and she asked her to try out for a Maybelline campaign because she said she had a look that was very commercial. And then not even 20 minutes later, this guy comes up to me and asks me if I'd like to try out some beef jerky. But if you think about it, LA is where the most beautiful people come to be famous. And then the beautiful people meet each other and they have beautiful kids. And then you have to go to school with them. And you're just like, fuck, we came here because of the weather. But now I'm a parent. I have a 14-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son. And we live on the west side. And I am worried about them being overindulged, especially when it comes to how much to give them. I mean, should we be giving our kids things they may not be ready for just because it makes our lives more convenient? Like, people right now are giving their kids the most extravagant things that I would never do. Like, I am not giving a 14-year-old an Amex. A Discover card is fine. Plus, you get points back. But I am, no matter if I try to fight it or not, the kids do end up entitled. My 16-year-old my daughter for some reason thinks that she's getting a car when she's 16. And I was like, a car? I didn't even get a car. Do you know what I got? A nose job, just like everybody else in my neighborhood. But now, speaking of cars, did you know that cars are the best place to have a talk with your kids? Because studies show that kids are more likely to open up and be honest with you if they don't have to look at you directly in the eyes, or if you won't unlock the car door until they do. It's like, buckle up, Buttercup. We're going for a drive to the valley, and we're going to talk about drugs. I really do think there's a big difference between the mom that I thought I would be and the mom that I am. Like, I really did want to be that perfect mom, especially around the holidays. Like, I wanted to be able to do all the decorations and have the matching pajamas and make the homemade treats. But the problem is, I'm just not lame. And I know that perfect moms aren't doing that to annoy me. It's their own compulsion. Like, their need to have everything right is so much greater than their need to be liked by any of the other moms. But if you're a perfect mom out there, it's not that I dislike you or we dislike you. It's no, sorry. If you're a perfect mom, the reason we don't like you is because you make us look bad in front of our kids. Like, they'll go to your house for Easter and they'll see your amazing decorations from Home Goods, and they'll see their little personalized baskets, and they'll look at me and be like, Mom, why don't you ever do this? And I'll be like, guys, for the millionth time, we're Jewish. All right, so since we're having so much fun, I thought we could move into the trauma portion of my set. Thank you. So 2 years ago, my son was in a horrible car crash and almost died. And he's okay now. He's actually amazing. But ever since then, I have made it my mission to make his story all about me. I've been diagnosed with PTSD, which is something that I only thought veterans had, but apparently it affects over 13 million Starbucks employees every year. I forgot where I was at. Everyone people with PTSD, everybody has a different reaction to triggers. Like some people react physically, some people react emotionally. I tend to go inward and I'll isolate myself from all friends and family. So like if I hear an ambulance, I'm not going to freak out, but I will book myself, but I will but I will just buy a ticket for myself on a jazz cruise. I don't know, that's bad. Okay. But I know. Jazz cruise is funny though, right? I mean, I am trying to keep it together though, and the best way I can do that is to avoid the things that I know will trigger me, like mainly cars. That's a joke, cause yeah, okay. But mainly cars. But fortunately, we live in LA where we just need to use cars every single day, all day long, everywhere we go. But it's easy to get creative. I live on the west side. If I ever need to get to the valley, I'll just fly from LAX to Burbank. LA is a great place to be if you need to heal yourself because there's everything here, and I've tried it all. There's talk therapy. I've done meditation, pole dancing. My kids always know when I'm going through something when I leave the house in 5-inch heels. I'll just be like, I just need some me time, okay? My husband will be like, Jen, can we talk? And I'll be like, only if you slip a 20 in my thong. I do also have a great therapist, and I love her because she's really direct with me, but she's also my biggest cheerleader. And sometimes we'll do these exercises, and she'll be like, okay, Jen, repeat after me. Take your medication or your husband will leave you. One thing I do that's completely free is I'll go into my car and I will scream as loud as I can. And it really helps. It really does. It really helps. It's a little frightening for the kids, though. So now I only do it at Trader Joe's. But you got to keep it together, especially if you have kids. You know, you can't just scream and cry all the time. You've got to be a role model, not a reality star. Even though I really would be good on The Real Housewives of Brentwood. I even have my tagline. It goes like this. The only mess you'll find in my house is me. Are we good on time? So we're good? Okay, great. Let me try one more. Oh, okay. So when this all happened, I had no appetite at all. I couldn't eat a single thing. And I really think that for there was a point in time where I think that my girlfriends were genuinely concerned that I was going to get thinner than they were. And I know this because one day I opened the door and I found a giant lasagna on the doorstep, and I was like, those bitches. And my husband's like, Jen, it's called a meal train. And I was like, no, it's called sabotage. Okay. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Oh, you got a punch.
Give it up for Jen, everybody. I love that. I thought you said tuck therapy.
Oh, no.
And I was like, where we go? West Hollywood. Dude, that's good. That's really what I thought you said.
Tongue friendly.
Tuck friendly. Tuck.
My stage.
I love you guys. Give it up for yourselves.
Yeah.
This is a great night, seriously. Usually I gauge an audience by like how I would feel being stuck in an elevator together. And this is like so chill. Like this is like really like good vibes. Like we come out of the elevator like stressed, but like we would have learned a lot, I feel like. And so why am I looking at you? Like, I don't know. It's easy. Okay. Andrew Kamba, come up here. I'm so excited for you. Andrew! Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's go.
You guys are so tall. There you go. Give it up for Jen. Thank you guys for having me. I was here last time as an audience member, remember? Yeah? Yeah. All right, so good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Footalon Kamba, and that's footalon. It's not foot long. It's not furlong. It's not footloose. And it damn ain't sure futon. It's footalon, and it's Futan. My last name is Camba, not Canva. I'm not a template. Camba is Spanish. It means footlong. I was born and raised in LA. Most Filipinos, I'm Filipino, most Filipinos have Spanish last names, and that's because we can't spell our name in Filipino. In Filipino, for example, footlong would be put long. You know, where do I put it? You know? I'm also an LA native. I was born and raised LA, Filipino LA native, and that means I grew up eating balut, surfing, and then doing drive-bys. Blah, 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 blah. And for my non-Filipino friends, balut is an unborn duck in an egg, and you eat it. It's really good. I grew up on the east side, Eagle Rock, and back then it was very hood, and my name in the streets was Put. So walking down the streets, my friends would be like, "Hey Put, what up Put? What up Put? Where them eggs at? You got them duck eggs?" I'm like, no man, I don't got them duck eggs, but I got some fresh hen eggs. I got some cage free, some range free. I even got that 99-cent free. And if you don't want that, I also got some taro, ube, lumpia. Both of my parents are Filipino. Shocker. I know what you're thinking. Probably thinking, oh, my mom's Filipino, my dad's black, hence the name footlong and a half. My mom is a retired nurse, Filipino nurse. And shocker number 2. As opposed to an accountant, domestic helper, Starbucks worker, hot dog on a stick. I'm so sick and tired of people stereotyping Filipinos that sometimes I tell them that my mom was a retired Filipino stripper.
Oh.
And her name was mom of a kid named Footlong.
Oh.
I'm the youngest of 3 siblings, and you know what that means. My hand-me-down sucked. Wearing a training bra under your basketball jersey during basketball, not comfortable. Running down the court, telling my coach, timeout, timeout. I need a bigger cup side, coach. my nipples are tender soft. I grew up in a very strict Filipino household, so that means we only cared about 3 things: family, food, and karaoke. Balut. And karaoke songs. One of my favorite karaoke songs is "Back That Ass Up" by Celine Dion. One of my other favorite songs is "Me So Horny" by Dionne Warwick. But if you ask me, one of my all-time favorite songs, actually my most favorite song of all time, is Lionel Richie, "You Are." And when I'm on stage and I'm singing, people tell me that I look and sound just like him. The best part of that song is the end. Let me do a demonstration for you guys.
Woohoo!
Oh, if you play music, it's on live.
Oh, it's our live?
Sorry.
That's fine. All right.
Hello.
It's okay.
So sorry.
I know you know the way I feel. I need your love for always, 'cause when I'm with you, I fall in love again and again and again, baby. You are the sun, you are the rain that makes my life this foolish game. You need to know I love you so, and I'll do it all again and again. Whoa, 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 yeah. Thank you. I'm available for birthday parties, bar mitzvahs. I'm Andrew Kemba. Thank you.
In the room with Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
I wish you could play it. It's like YouTube will kill us. Give it up for Andrew, everybody. Let's do it. We all need to do karaoke. Okay, say goodbye to Jason.
Bye, Jason.
And thank you.
All right.
Say thank you. And shout out Jason. Also afterwards, like we post like little boomerangs of us like on Instagram. So if you could say your Instagram here, or I should have said, but we'll figure that out after the show. But we're almost done with the night, but not yet. Thank you guys for staying. Give it up. Okay. This is my family here. Okay. Please get ready for the comedy of Richard White, everybody.
All right.
This is so short to me. It's crazy. The funny thing is like I'm really insecure about my height, even though I'm 6'1". It makes no sense. Like maybe I was just like a really short guy in my past life, and that's just sort of like transcending into it. I don't know. That's not even my bit. I just came up saying that. Jen, you were talking about at one point. I don't know why. No, Jen. At one point, you were just like, yeah, you know how easy it is to talk to your kids in a car? And I nodded at you like, I have kids. I don't. I don't know why I agreed to that. Like, I don't know the fuck I did that. But anyway, welcome to the Family Trauma Hour, because I'm going to keep the train rolling. I do love the synchronicity of life, right? Like how I was already planning on talking about my family stuff, and everyone else was doing that too. So it's like, here I am trying to find my identity, me original, and I'm the third one up there doing it. So, anyway, I love my parents, okay? But I am convinced that they have been out to get me from day one. If you don't believe me, they named me Rich White.
Oh.
They must have been in fucking stitches when they were coming up with that name. They were calling their friends like, you will not believe what we're going to name this kid. He is going to get bullied so hard. And I did. Because Rich, a nickname for that is Dick. Dick White. White Dick. My high school experience was not fun. So they were correct on that. But I feel like my mom is the biggest culprit of this. It's confusing because she's my biggest supporter, but she's also my biggest hater. For example, I have this joke where I talk about how Leonardo DiCaprio, the more he ages, the larger his forehead gets. It's true. That does happen. My mom loved this joke so much that she called me up and she went, Rich, I love that joke about Leonardo DiCaprio, but you should find a way to connect it to your massive forehead.
Oh.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah, no, I think I'll add that. I didn't know I had one, so that's news to me. And that one felt like a super personal attack. Like she was holding that one in her back pocket for a while for the perfect moment to make me feel more insecure. And I gotta say, she did a great job of that. But it gets worse, okay? So I just turned 30, and I was spending my birthday in Florida, and I was drinking with my mom, and she just turns to me and goes, you know, Rich, you were supposed to be born in January. Now, for context, I was born December 20th, and I guess she induced labor. This obviously sprang my curiosity, and I said, Mom, why was I born in December? And she looked at me so sweetly, and she just said, for tax purposes. And she said it as if I'd be like, oh, cool. Like, I know what that was. So, you got to explain further. And she said, of course, honey. Yeah, we had you as a tax write-off. And here I'm thinking my parents wanted a Christmas baby, but no, they were thinking about their 1993 tax return. Okay? For 30 fucking years of my life, I have thought I was meant to be born on December 20th, and my mom just casually shatters my reality at a hibachi grill in Central Florida. After she said that, the hibachi chef came over with the sake. He's like, oh, pee-pee man. And he started fucking squirting sake into my mouth as I'm drowning in sake as my whole life is unraveling before my eyes. Okay? And you know who gave them that idea? Their fucking doctor.
Oh.
I knew he was a medical professional, but I didn't realize he also moonlighted as their financial advisor. During the day, his office was a doctor's office, but at night it was an H&R Block. My parents and the doctor were just talking about my livelihood, my literal life, like I was a 20% off coupon about to expire. The doctor became a car dealer that day. He's like, hey, listen, happy Honda days is almost over. Let's see if we can get you in a new Civic. And here's the thing. I don't know if you know this about tax write-offs, but usually you get money back from that, right? I haven't seen a fucking cent, okay? By the way, I calculated it. I'm owed at least $2,000, and I haven't seen that, okay? I thought my parents would have maybe given some of that money on my birthmas. If you don't know what birthmas is, basically, if your birthday is close to Christmas, your parents like to do this thing where they ruin your childhood by combining the two. It's a really humbling experience. But I didn't get any of that money. But truly what I'm scared about is what my mom is going to tell me when I'm 40. Is she just going to sit me down and go, Rich, have you ever seen The Truman Show? Well, you're living it, buddy. I'm not even your real mom. If you think I was going to talk about my dad, obviously I got to talk about my dad. Now, to preface this, my dad, him and I have an odd relationship. I will say that he loves and supports my dream of being like an actor and a comedian and stuff like that. But he really, he really failed at the nurturing and like emotional support aspect of it. He was like, now we're kind of chill, but only because I think we can drink together. You know, when I was younger, he was like, I can't connect with this child that I had at all. I can't connect with him with my love for being a functional alcoholic. So I will neglect his entire formative years until I can share a Bud Light with him. Which is what he did. And now it's great. We love going out drinking and shit. But my dad, I can't get past him. He's like a wall. He's like a one-word answer type of guy. He's like an NPC. He's got like 3 answers to everything. It's either great, oh no, or whatever, or something like that. Like, it's weird. Like, for instance, right? Like, I could say to my dad, like, hey, I made a turkey sandwich, and he'd be like, that's great. And to be honest, I'm like, Dad, calm down. That's not that exciting. Like, you shouldn't even use that word for that. But then I could be like, Dad, I just saved a baby from a burning building. And he'd be like, that's great. I'm like, Dad, I don't think you know what great means, because those are 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, okay? But that's what he fucking does. Damn it, that's what I'm working on. I don't know, I'm trying stuff. Because it's very hard to talk about my dad. It really is. It's like, because I'm trying to get more like personal with my life and stuff like that. And my dad, I'm always afraid he's going to see it or something like that and get like really upset. But he won't. Again, he loves and supports me, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how much he really loves and supports me. All right, what could I talk about? Because that was the main thing. Oh yeah, this is a random thought. My fiance and I have been working out for the past like 3 months, and we're in like the best shape of our lives. Like, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. And when we have sex, I tend to find myself staring at me. Like Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, where he's like fucking, like, I tend to, no, I'm not kidding, and it's weird, right? Like, I'll be having sex with him, like, staring at my muscle, and I don't know what to think about that. Like, I'm looking at her, but then I start looking at my abs as she's on top of me, so I don't know. Maybe I should stop working out, I don't know, because I feel like I gotta give her more attention now. I'm giving myself the attention. I feel like I should fuck myself, I don't know. I'm sorry, that's just came to my head.
They should stop working out.
Yeah, maybe I should. Fuck. Okay, another random thought. I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy before. His name is like Osama bin Laden or something like that. Really bad dude, I think. Obviously, I know who that is. But did you know that he was like tall as shit? Dude was like 6'6". Can you imagine, instead of putting a gun in his hand, they put a basketball in his hand? We'd be saying never forget, but it'd be like, never forget when he put 40 against, like, in the NBA single championship game. It would be... Sorry. He's like playing for the New York Knicks too. He's speaking of, back in my hometown.
Hey now.
Back in my hometown, I'm from Boston originally, and back in my hometown there was like this local pizza shop, and I always found it so interesting when I was young because you'd go in and there would be like a bunch of posters. It'd be like a picture of a piece of pizza, a map of Italy, a giant poster of the Twin Towers, another picture of a pizza, and then like some lettuce. It was the giant picture of the Twin Towers with a bald eagle that said "Never Forget" that I thought was interesting, because I was trying to figure out how the theme of the Twin Towers had to do with pizza. I couldn't figure that out, but basically what I learned is that they were like Armenians or something like that. And back in like 2009 or 10, if you had a little bit darker skin, it was either they're Mexican or terrorists. And I get that now. So they purposely put that poster up to be like, hey, we love America. We would never do that. We didn't do that. That wasn't us. Never forget. I got all, I figured that out. What do I have, like a minute?
20 seconds.
20 seconds. I got nothing. Anyway, thank you so much. My name is Richard White. You can find me on TikTok at Very Rich Comedy and Instagram at RichardWhite_official. Thank you.
Give it up for Richard White. Who is ready for tonight's headliner? Colin Hasley! Save your chatter for the end. Save your chatter for the end. Save your chatter. Save your chatter.
chatter
for the end. Save it.
The ADHD
Save it,
is
you
in-
Rich White.
Okay.
Save it for the
Jesus.
Wow, you guys are
And-
yelling at me.
Oh my God. Oh God, the ADD was strong with this crowd. All right. That was fun. Let's do that again sometime. I'm sure there's plenty of opportunities. Yo, Rich, what's weird about 9/11 saying never forget is it works for both sides. You know what I mean? Like, you can say that as like never forget this terrible thing, but on the terrorist side, hey, never forget what we did. Look at that layup. Look at that three-fer. Like, it kind of works both ways. I'm not happy about that, but it could be a celebration. You think you have a bad name? My name is Colin Asley. You know how many times I've been called colon ass play? All right, be happy. Count your blessings. All right, it doesn't get. I'm just gonna steal from everybody's concepts, but like I'm thinking of like my own. Just part. Artists. We steal. No, my dad. I have a weird relationship with my dad, but it's very positive at this time. My dad is a very successful YouTuber. My dad has 186,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he's a dating and relationship coach, and he is single. It's very true. He's a dating and relationship coach. He is single, because he's trying to find the right one. No, you know how annoying that is when your dad is better at being Gen Z than you are? That fucking sucks. Like, he got a great audience. He has thumbnails. He has a thumbnail guy. I don't have a thumbnail guy. Ugh, it's so annoying. And he gives just these smart ass comments, He'll be like, your boomer dad could figure it out. Why can't you? I'm like, you fucking asshole. My dad gives passive. It's these weird kind of passive aggressive kind of smart ass comments that he gives, which I've gotten better at handling it. But it's very weird because my stepdad is direct with his insults. He just will call, like, if he thinks you're ugly, he'll just call you ugly to your face. He'll just insult you to your face. but so it's weird. So my dad gives, you know, what do you call it? Backhanded My dad will give backhanded compliments, and my stepdad gives front-handed insults. It's a weird experience. I've been watching I've been watching veterans, war veterans on YouTube playing Call of Duty. And yeah, no, it's really entertaining. It's really weird to watch someone who's killed real people kill fake people with the same level of apathy as they must have had in the real war. Just got him. Like, that's it. That was it. No, there's one guy I follow. It's called Grandpa Gaming, and he killed this one guy from like across the map, and he saved his teammate. And he cheered. He's like, "I got you, bud." And I think I think that in that moment, I think it was like it seemed like kind of a redemption thing. I don't know. Seemed like a little bit of redemption. I don't know. What else did I put up here? Sorry. I used to pray as a kid. Anybody here ever pray as a kid? Yeah, a little bit of praying. I prayed as a kid. I don't know, because when you're a kid, you don't know if the prayer is going to work. You know, you're kind of hopeful. You want it to work, but it's kind of a crapshoot. Sometimes it comes true, sometimes it doesn't. Kind of like an early entryway into gambling when you think about it. Like you don't have the full. It might work, it might not. You might get a big payout or just Okay. There's a kernel there. I've been seeing a lot of kids online on TikTok. They've been diagnosing themselves with autism using AI on TikTok. Ironically, pretty autistic thing to do. And pretty on brand. Yeah, no, I've actually been using ChatGPT as a therapist. I've been using that as like a secondary therapist, a little bit cheaper. It's kind of like having an autistic therapist. Because I'll be like, I'm having a tough day. My boss was really passive aggressive to me, and it'll be like, as an AI language model, I don't understand passive aggressive. However, here's some things you can do. Like, hey, thanks. Where did I put this? So I've been, I sometimes, this is a little embarrassing, but I'm going to share it anyway. So sometimes I occasionally will have someone over at my place, and, we'll be getting down. And wow, I could not have said that any worse. I could have just said we were fucking, and that would have. Oh god. No, I have someone over, and I purposefully leave I have a sliding glass window. I'll purposely leave it open in my bedroom because I want my neighbors to know. I don't know. I'm proud of myself. God damn it! I don't want to be the only one that knows. All right, I want some proof. I want people to know. I'm not. It's kind of like. You ever walk, like in old cartoons when you see a freshly baked pie on a windowsill? Yeah. People walking by, they're not gonna eat the pie, but it's nice to, it's nice to know. It's a nice, nice walking by. All right. No, but I do occasionally hear my neighbors having sex, and you can just hear them from whichever way. I live in a complex, and it's it echoes, and I root for them too. I'm happy for them. I want I root for. No, I don't cheer for sports. Why would I cheer if a ball went in a basket? I want to be cheering for people who might having the sex. I said in a text message recently, I was texting a client and I said I'd be over short. I thought I texted I'll be over shortly, and I reread the text message and it autocorrected to I will arrive shirtless. And here's the thing, I always keep my promises. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this resonates with the men and women in the audience, but I have I know that I've known this in some of my male friends have stayed in relationships because the sex was good. That the sex was so good they could not leave the relationship, and I don't know if anyone else has had the opposite experience, where just the emotional connection was so good, but the sex sucked. You know, like they cannot bang for shit, but God, do they listen all night long? They can listen all night. All right, just a lot of ideas tonight. Just a lot of. Where did I? Sorry, I thought I had more. I work with kids. I work with a lot of kids, and they don't care about this whole learning thing. They're not up. They're not on board. I've been trying to get them on board. You know, it's weird because we punish kids for like not learning these things. You know, like you get, you know, parents will get mad at their kid for not having learned linear equations, and you've heard this. We've all heard this before. This phrase. That's 1 minute, right?
No,
Okay.
probably.
Yeah, probably.
Like 120.
120, we'll take it. Now you're 115, 115, 113, 114, 112. Yeah, so they'll always say this. Kids will always say this. When am I going to use this? You hear this phrase all the time. When am I going to use this? And I don't have a good answer for most of the things. My best answer so far has been, this is going to be really good to teach. You're going to learn how to learn.
Right.
And God, does that suck as an answer when you're 14. No one wants to learn. Wait a minute. You're going to put me through hell so I can go through more hell? That's what this is for them. It's like, I have to learn. I hate the learning process. You're telling me I have to learn so I get... Okay. All right. You ever sing a song and then you end up singing another song halfway through?
Yeah.
I just did that the other day. I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells. Where'd that come from? How'd I get it? I came in like a wrecking ball, made it like it never happened and that we would. I used to live in France, and we would do karaoke there every week. And there was this one French guy who would only sing Johnny Cash songs. And the problem with Johnny Cash songs is they do not sound good in a French accent. There are too many vowels in Johnny Cash songs, just every week. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, down, down. I hear the train coming. All right, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Find me Colin_comedy at Instagram. Thank you.
Give it up for Colin. Give it up for yourselves. I mean it. This was a really great night. Thank you for coming. We're here every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Our show on Sundays is going to be coming back soon. Please give it up for Cece for staying here and helping me out tonight. Being a part of the team. Okay, we're done. Good night. Love you.
Yeah.
See you. I'm Sam. Shout out Sunda. Okay. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Unreplicatable.